From the News Channel 5 Network, this is Morning Line with Nick Barris.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Morning Line. I am Nick Barris. I'm Nick Barris, and this is Monday, and wow, what a weekend. We're doing the program today, picking up on the coverage we had throughout the weekend and the absolutely devastating rains and what happened in Humphreys County and some of the other communities nearby, but the hardest hit, of course, there in Waverly, and it's heartbreaking to me, and I know so many of you followed. We've got Sky 5 images of this, and it's just stunning, as I said. I think as I look at this back to 2010, when our own television station here in downtown Nashville was flooded, the flood of the century, the 1,000-year flood is what they called it. We got about 13.5 inches or so of rain over 2 days that caused all that devastation throughout the city and beyond. You look at this, the city of McEwen, okay, and it had flooding obviously also, but also in Waverly and Humphreys County. We're talking 17 inches at the most top point in like 5 hours, compared to 13 inches that caused all that damage in Nashville in 2010 in 2 days. 17 inches in 5 hours, and you look at the aftermath of this, and that's what we're going to talk about today. I welcome your phone calls, comments, observations. We're going to show some of this video here as it plays out. Again, Sky 5, you know, was over the scene, the only video from above, and the tragedy in all this is that last count, 22 people dead, 26 people remain missing at this hour. Some perhaps have not been located and are safe somewhere, perhaps at a Red Cross shelter or otherwise, but the big fear here is that the others, you know, that death toll is going to go up, and it's stunning, and you know, any loss of life is absolutely tragic. What makes it more tragic at times is when it's children. And there was one apartment complex right there along a creek in Waverly that was swamped in a matter of seconds. And as you know, the first two confirmed dead in this flood over the weekend were twin 7-month-old children. Their father and mother were in the apartment there, and they call it a flash flood for a reason. That much rain at once, the creek, boom, 4 feet of water in that apartment complex in a split second. You know, he grabbed all of the siblings. The mother was swept away. She managed to cling to a pole and was eventually rescued. But as he sat there with two of the children in one arm and the two infants in the other, the infants were in the force of the water, pulled away, and their remains were later found. Listen, the first responders, law enforcement, doing an incredible job, barely getting any sleep. The sheriff there in Humphreys County is Chris Davis, and he's, you know, obviously nonstop working, but he's good enough to join us this morning briefly, we hope, to just give us an update of the situation. And good morning, Sheriff Davis. I appreciate you taking time to call us. You hear me okay?
Good morning, Nick.
Well, I'll tell you, I know cell service was down for quite some time. I know communications up and running now, obviously. Is that going to be a big help for you guys as you move forward?
Yes, absolutely. The 911 centers worked very diligent, very hard on getting that back up and going. We've got good comms. That's going to help in between our communication center, our command post, and then getting the information out to our people in the field.
Yeah, Chris, let me ask you this right now with regard to the ongoing search and rescue. The last numbers we have, 22 dead. Is it about 26 or so still unaccounted for?
We through the night, we've been able to cut back and scale that back. I'm thinking that we're probably under 20 right now as far as what we have as an actual true missing. That we're looking at and trying to make contact with family members. We're pushing that out through social media. What we're doing is we're asking anybody that can to go on that social media and to look at that social media. And if you have contact, you know that person, have that person call or contact us, and then that way we're not playing the he said, she said game, and we're not allowing somebody to get missed, if that makes sense, Nick.
Absolutely. I know what you're saying, and that's a good thing that has to be done. Is it your belief, though, that it's very likely that the death toll will go up?
We're always hopeful that don't happen. Unfortunately, we do feel that is a possibility. in the next couple of days. We've still, like I said, we've made a very good, diligent effort on trying to get out in the county with some of this stuff still, and get out there and get it going. And we're attacking those areas. We've still got some people out in the county that does not have electricity. We're hoping that they have cell service, but we encourage, we still want the welfare checks. We're asking people from out of town, if they're not able to have any contact, to call into our dispatch center and ask for that welfare check so we can get that squared away and we can get that taken care of.
I'll make sure throughout this program to share those numbers. If you can, Sheriff, give me your take. I mean, we know that there was one apartment complex. What is the building or the living situation there? It's behind the Dollar General, near one of the creeks there, correct? And that's where those twin infants and I think 2 or 3 other children, along with some adults, were actually swept away. And a lot of people trying to get a handle on how this hit so suddenly for that to happen. Where exactly was that, Sheriff, and how did that play out?
Nick, I was able to get out and do an evaluation on some of the areas in the city of Waverly. City of Waverly is the hardest affected area, and it's, think of a valley from running long-wise east to west, along Highway 70, along the railroad track. Mm-hmm. We have, from one end of our city limits to the other end of our city limits, we have got people and homes that have been affected. I'm looking, I come in through the east end going west this morning. I've got homes that are off their foundations. Mm-hmm. They're just moved. I mean, the home is picked up and been moved 30 or 40 yards, and that's not just 1 or 2. That's up there.
Sure.
And I hadn't even got into the west, down in the west end yet. And as I come into the middle of the town, I'm still looking at more homes that they're likely been dislodged again from the foundations. I've got the cars in the creeks. You come on down the creek traveling west and behind the dog store down around Main Town, and you got the housing assisted areas down in that area. And we've got people that are sitting in these homes, that are living in these homes without power. They don't want to leave.
Well, I don't
here
blame
we
them.
are.
Sure. And again, is the thinking that the water, I mean, they call it a flash flood for a reason, but like in that public housing or subsidized housing you're talking about where some of these children and others were swept away, the water must have just been on them 4 or 5 feet in an instant from that creek.
In an instant. And I want you to think of this, and this is how much in an instant we're talking about. In the shopping center in Waverly, the Dollar General store, we had employees that were working in there, and they were trying to do things, and they were in knee-deep water. The next thing they know, the water bust through the doors, and I've actually got some people, or one of the employees that was actually missing from there. So imagine being at work, not just at home, but imagine being at work and getting so overwhelmed so fast that, bam, here we are.
What, as we wrap things up, I know you're very busy, but what do you need and what do you need people to know? I know I keep hearing from folks, and so many people, by the way, were following much of what you were saying on Facebook, on my page, and elsewhere. You got information out in a great manner, I think, as best as you could, but you don't want people coming down there. You don't want looky-loos, and you're not looking for volunteers at this point, right? But as far as donations, what do you need? What can people do to help?
Nick, we're in the process of that being arranged. I'm going to get my PIO to contact you, if you don't mind, here in just a few minutes with all that stuff set up. We don't mind volunteers, but we've got staging areas. We're asking for patience. And the days to come, the next few days to come, is when I'm going to need the people on the ground going into these areas and helping them clean, helping them remove the debris, and just helping them find their personal belongings. One of my own deputies, I was talking to one of my own deputies last night. Gone. Yeah. His house is gone.
Oh my gosh.
His clothes are gone. His uniforms are gone. Patrol car's gone. And I'm just that's just an incident that I know that's fresh in my brain. But I'm talking, we've got probably 50, 60 other families that's in this, it's in this same situation that we've just got to get it. We've got to get it fixed. We've got to take the time. We're going to have the people to help. We're going to have the people to do those things, and right now, we're having to take one day at a time. We're planning ahead. Chief Gillespie and I from Waverly are actually already trying to make a few plans for tomorrow and what we've got, and all those different kind of things. So, plethora of information. We're going to just try to keep everything flowing. Volunteers that want to come in, be patient. We do need those, but we are going to have some of the ground guys that's going to be coming in and willing to help these people and that kind of thing for the days to come.
All right. Well, listen, and you're going to get it done. We know you will. And you just let us know when that information needs to go out. I'll get it out. All the media will get that out for you. But I just have to say, your office shared, which I thought was very interesting on your Facebook page, an email you received from someone in Germany. Okay.
Yeah. What about that? That's amazing. That's a true open heart right there.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's a letter from Germany. I've reposted it on my Facebook page, and it's basically an individual there who just lived through a flood, saw what was happening here. This story's made news around the world, of course, and it wants to send $150 to help with the relief effort. And so if there's any message there, Sheriff, as you know, this is the volunteer state, but you all are not alone, and you and your staff and everyone else down there has done an incredible job under just horrible circumstances. And if there's anything more that we can do for you from the media side of it, of course, you just reach out, and you be safe along with all of the folks you're working with.
My friend, I appreciate it. Thank you, and I will keep pushing the information to you that we can get out, and that's what we need right now. We just need to get the information out. And, but please, Nick, if you don't mind, please get these people that we've got missing. We need that help. Well, that's going to start helping us get located and get that taken care of. And if we could prioritize that, that would be a tremendous help to us.
We will do that, and that's leadership on your part. Sheriff, we're going to let you go. We know how busy you are. You've been up probably nonstop the last 2 days, but I'll be in touch, and I promise you we'll stay on that, and you let us know if you need anything. Thank you again, and be safe out there today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. That, again, is Sheriff Chris Davis in Humphreys County. He and I go back quite a ways. I have an awful lot of respect for that man. He's never dealt with anything like this. No one has. And under these circumstances, you kind of learn as you go. But he's absolutely right. The priority right now is continuing search and rescue. Sadly, some of it may be considered recovery effort right now. But they need to know who's accounted for and who's not. How many people out there perhaps still swept away in this flood. Maybe someone is out there pinned and still alive and needs to be rescued. They need to know that, but they're out there looking as we speak. And, we'll check in with Chris throughout, but really appreciate him taking a few moments out of what I know has been a very busy past 2 days. And now, of course, today, more of the same. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll take more of your phone calls, or we'll start with your phone calls. I'll update you on the very latest. We have video to show you exclusive from Sky 5. We may even touch in with Lelan Statom, who was out there this morning, to give us an update on what he saw and also what we can expect weather-wise down there as this recovery effort continues. We'll be back with more right after this.